You rolling already, huh? You got me. I'm in there. Okay. Here we go, another Sunday. Yet again.
How do you guys like to sit?
Hey man.
Comfortably.
That's don't be weird. Special edition. Every edition is a special edition because every guest that we have here is a special guest. Today we have artists. Simple. Just like formerly known as Prince. But I'm going to let him introduce himself the proper way. I'm going to be out of the way. Mr. Tevin will be on the camera today. I'm out the way. My bad, Lowski. Here you go, brother. Welcome to the Blk Hole.
Thank you, Sleep. Here we are once again. Today, matter of fact, sir, give you the opportunity to introduce yourself as you please.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. Seen you all on the internet, and I really appreciate the space that you guys have curated. So once again, thanks for having me. But my name is RaMell Ross, and I am an artist that does film, photography, and a couple other mediums. And I also teach visual art at Brown University in Providence, Rhode Island. So I'm also a professor. So I just consider myself someone who has like a lot of experience in these worlds and can help students find their voices within them.
Got a few questions we'll start off with. Trap.
Okay. RaMell, what is time to you? Does it exist? Or what's your breakdown of time in simple form first?
Yeah, it's a good question, Reggie, because, you and I talk a lot about photography and film and cinema and trauma and what it's like to grow up as a person that's striving to do certain things and having expectations for oneself that necessarily aren't mirrored in the experience of a lot of people that you've surrounded yourself with or you found yourself with. And I feel like time is like strangely connected in tissue between these couple things. And I teach a class at Brown called Other Lives of Time, and it's sort of talking loosely about contemporary notions of time as they relate to cinema, but cinema that is very specific and singular, and kind of thinking about cinema as an anagram for an individual's relationship to time. And an anagram meaning like can a film be your relationship to time, like as specific as your relationship to how you see the world and how you perceive the world.
All right.
And time in this sense, if we think deeply about it, one is familiar to all because there's such thing as clock time, right? Like industrial time, we have like the ticking that goes second by second. But if you talk to scientists and physicists, like that time is an actual illusion. It doesn't exist. And to say that is, it seems almost inflammatory and confusing. Like, what do you mean? It's on the clock, like you can see it. But like, what exactly is that? Like a minute is, 1/60th of an hour. An hour is 1/24th of a day. A day is, 1/365th of a year. And then what is a year? A year is the amount of time it takes for the Earth to go around the sun. So if we get to that point of truth, it seems like time is more about space. Like it has nothing to do with actual time. It's just a measure of how long this object, this earthly terrain travels around the sun. In other words, it's arbitrary. It's just something that we've used to bring order to the way in which we understand the passing of what we feel to be significant experiences in our life. And I think that's something that is maybe not useful for the average person because you have to get up, you have to go to work, you have to pick your kid up and you have to do all these specific things. But to acknowledge that time itself is a construct It allows you to sort of, I think deeply about many other things, like the distance between events, right? Like if something happens to you in your youth and you still feel like that's affecting you, and someone's like, yo, just let it go. Like, to you, it could have literally happened yesterday. Like, it's something you think about every day. Like, it's hard to let things go unless you truly deal with them. Just because it happened a long time ago doesn't mean that it's not still relevant, right? We look at what's happening in this broader historical moment with people denying the lived experiences of colored people, black people across the country and the land. It may seem like, slavery was a long time ago, that it was 50 years ago that we got X and Y rights, but like there's still people who are living who had those experiences, and those experiences are still playing their part in the way in which decisions are being made now. And so it's something to really, I think more deeply about, to reset your relationship to time, and give yourself more grace, I think.
Because something I noticed about time is like, that when you're younger, stuff kind of moves slow because you're still being introduced to things.
Yeah.
But when you get older, time moves so fast because you're so used to that shit. So what is that that's passing?
Yeah. No, that's a good question, Rezi. It's so because time, clock time, industrial time is something that is sort of abstract and not something that's universally held with us. Like we could have this experience of this podcast, and for you, the 30 minutes, 20 minutes we're going to spend together could feel like a day or like 5 hours. And to me, it could feel like 3 minutes, right?
Right.
The reason why it feels different to each person is because time is quite literally an individual fact of every single point in space and time. And to zoom out from that, each person has a completely different relationship to time. It's measured based on memory density as opposed to objective events, right? When you're a kid, you've experienced so few things, right? Every single thing is piquing every one of your senses. You're seeing this color for the first time. You're feeling this heat. You're seeing this thing, and your mind's being exposed. But the second that you're reintroduced to those elements, your brain can predict them, and there's no longer a need to record it, right? And so when you grow up, you fall into habits. You have your job, your 9 to 5, you drive to work, you do this, you do that, you do this. And your memory density is different. Your brain is no longer recording the amount of things in the same types of way. And it makes it seem like time's going faster. It isn't. It's just that our consciousness does not find use in making those things memorable.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
With all that being said, do you think that it's possible to be present and in the past at the same time?
Man, sleep. I love that question, man. I love that question, especially because it's I think at the heart of what I'm interested in terms of art, photography, cinema. There's this guy, Henry Bergson, philosopher, yesteryear. He has this quote that said, "Perception is coterminous with history."
One more time.
Perception is coterminous with history. Seeing is the same thing as remembering, right? It's impossible to decipher anything without remembering your encounter with it previously so that you can decipher it.
You be like, oh, it's a gas station.
Yeah, right? The reason why you can like look past something is because you've seen it before and your brain is pulling that in. That simultaneity to me speaks to one element of your question, Sleep, is that the past is present in our current moment at all times, right? It's the way that history over time, and history is never back there. It's all in the present. It's all compressed into this current moment. And then it gets, whittled out, deciphered, fragmentized, like based on a person's desire, their acuity, and their needs. But yeah, I think everyone does. And to acknowledge it, I think, is to be able to attend for the way that history and the past are playing its role in the moment.
What is the future to you?
What is the future? The future. I don't know. I'm gonna fall back on this quote. Well, I mean, some people will say that there is no future because there is only the present, right? Like, depending on, I mean, a lot of the stuff that I'm saying is kind of overlapping with Eastern philosophies, you know, Buddhism, Hinduism, Taoism, but, you know, there quite literally is only the present, right? Like, the future is always ahead of you.
Yeah, but how they say, like, damn, man, it's a simple quote we always say, tomorrow's not promised.
Tomorrow's not promised, yeah.
So, yeah, we always live in the present.
Yeah, the future, this is basically, the future never arrives, or something like that. The past is always behind you. Like, there really is only the present. It's that, you know, Henry Bergson also has a thing, he says, like, how thick is the present, right? Think about the present as this moment, but like, how much do those handles, like in the film editing way, how much does it move towards me knowing that I'm going to walk over to you, Reggie, and pat you on the back, like me knowing that I just sat here on the couch, me having both of those things simultaneous with my lived experience. How thick is the present? You know? Like, and these are philosophical questions, right? Like, they can't be answered by science, but they're aligning with what Sleep's asking is like, is it fair to make these distinctions? Now, it is fair, of course, in the sense of practicality and having a job and having relationships, but in terms of the way that it builds a way of thinking that has us conform to systems, which we were talking about, has us, you know, be content with X job and content with this, I think is worth paying attention to.
So it's safe to say that the future is only past thoughts met with the moment.
Present actions. Yeah.
Exactly, with present. Yeah, I think so.
Because you can make future plans, but those plans become the past once you make it to that moment.
Mm-hmm.
So do you ever reach the future?
I can't answer that.
You never reach the future. That shit crazy.
You know?
I honestly feel like you said it's just that now I feel like you just reaching that point to like when you get into what you decide you want to do. Like you said, make a plan.
So what is time?
I mean, well, this guy, it's an illusion. It is, but like time is consciousness, right? Like time, quite literally, as much as we know, based on our language and our inadequacies as humans, time is human consciousness organizing events.
Well, I feel like when you in a coma, you probably think it's one day, but you've been knocked out for 12 years.
You know, because you're. Oh, go ahead.
I would say like how long you been alive? You feel like when you come, I mean, I feel like that might fall in there too. You feel like you said you've been in a coma for, you know what I'm saying, so many years, and you've been alive for so many years. So how does that person that's been in that coma don't know if they alive or dead?
Right. There's this Chinese philosopher Zhuangzi, Master Zhuang, and he said he woke up from sleeping, and he was like, I had a dream that I was a butterfly, but now I'm unsure if I'm Zhuangzi who had a dream that I was a butterfly, or a butterfly who is now dreaming that he's Zhuangzi. You know, like that's how our consciousness works. It's so it's literally, it organizes events, right? Like our consciousness builds time by thinking that this thing came after this thing, which is also controversial because that cause and effect is not always the case, right? Like a seed is not coming from the past; it's emerging from itself, right? Like it is a thing; it's not accumulating, you know, or something.
So, I mean, I'm pretty sure you're aware, of course, that a lot of us out here are programmed.
Mm-hmm.
How does time help with that programming? Like from, you know, like back in the day, we probably used to let something else distract us. Now today is phones, social media, TikTok, all that stuff. So like, how does time program us?
Man, well, I think time has programmed the Western world, right? Like time in industry and capitalism is a very specific program that has its origins in, the guy that the invisible hand of the free market, you know, the capitalist who built our system from, I guess it was feudalism. I think that one, it makes you sell yourself, your time for X amount of dollars. Like, how can you make $15 an hour and then go and spend $20 on food? So you're saying that 1 hour of your labor was worth food for your, like, that makes no sense, like the way in which we can make these sort of trades. It also, I think, organizes the way in which we think that we should have accomplished things by certain times in our lives, and then we compare ourselves to people who have, in a standard sense, accomplished things or not accomplished things. It also makes us believe that while a person who is of a certain age should have a behavior that is respectable and know how to treat people well, that, you know, that someone who's 50 or 60 needs to grow up, you know? And obviously, if they do things that are immature and despicable, in some sense, they need to grow up. But I don't know about you, but I'm still an 8-year-old. I'm just also 43, you know? Like, I'm still 9 because I went through 9. Like, I have a 9-year-old in me, and like I like to enjoy life in these ways. But I also have responsibilities and a partner and a job and these other things. Yeah, I think in terms of social media, there's something that's happening, and we know this, like chemically, when we're on Instagram or on TikTok, and we get these little dopamine, and then we're like, we search for it, and then in an hour we get another one that like refills us. There's like this weird thing where we believe that our time is about instant gratification, or it's about sort of sensorial pleasure, when in fact there's like a greater, I believe, and I think a lot of people do as well, who are relatively spiritual, believe that there's a greater contentment that is outside of the way in which, you know, it feels good when we're eating a bag of chips, or like when we're like nice and warm and cozy in our house. Like, there's a better feeling when we can postpone these instant gratifications for like a larger discipline and a larger awakening of our inner selves.
Speaking of time and being time is so crazy. It's like let me ask this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Why does it seem like when nothing's going on, time just, but then when you're into something or you have something to do, where did time go?
Yeah. I think that's like a, yeah, no, go ahead, Sleep.
It's a mind thing, like, what do you perceive it to be? Since we're talking about time, I think that's an interesting question to ask.
No, I think it's an incredibly incisive question, specifically because it almost contradicts the idea that, you know, when you have attention, when you have a lot of attention and you have new senses coming in, time moves slower, and then if you're in some sort of habitual state, time moves faster. I think in the present, it has to do with where your consciousness is, right? Like, Reggie and I had a sweeping conversation yesterday. Reggie, behind you. And one thing that we had talked about, which is the way that the human mind works in consciousness, is that I saw something about, you know, these folks who are in these really high stress situations, whether it's like a Green Beret person parachuting from a helicopter and doing something, or, you know, it's you're in another like sort of dangerous situation. One trick that they do to allow their bodies not to respond to the complexity of we lost them. He went over to the corner. You about to go out that door, but the door doesn't open. Yeah, so like someone that's in a high stress sort of life or death situation, if you concentrate your consciousness on your body, it disconnects your amygdala from the stress factor, right? Like your fear is not allowed to connect to your emotions and to your physiological responses because your brain and your awareness is saying stuff like, okay, I'm breathing really, really hard right now. My blood is pumping through my heart. My heart is beating at X amount. And like, that's where your attention is. So time, additionally, is about attention, right? It's like, where is it? And what are we concentrating on? When we're doing something we love, you know, where we're like immersed and concentrated in a moment, like time normally goes fast, mostly because I think it's still in that ritual, in that habit. Yeah, I think that kind of sums it up.
I mean, it makes sense to me.
Yeah. I don't know, I feel like I just stopped that sentence like right in the middle.
And then one thing that lets me know that, well, it's one sentence that lets me know that time is kind of an illusion. Like, you know, somebody like, they drink and be like, oh, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Why is 5 o'clock here and it's 7 o'clock somewhere else?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I mean, like time zones blow my mind too. That's like, yeah. And that's just an invention. You know, people used to, you know, quite literally say, well, like, you've heard of Black people time, and like, you know, like this comes from a notion of African time. Like African time conceptually is not linear like ours. It's about events. It's like, we're going to do this thing. It's not about we're going to do this thing at this specific time. It used to be like when the sun hits its peak, then we're going to meet at a place. Like it was very fluid, you know, and like you had more space. The reason why clocks came about and time zones came about was because of trains. And they needed to organize trains on tracks and moving across country, and like trains can't hit each other. And if you have a delivery that's going to be at this place, like how do you account for the sun being here in one place and the sun being over here in another place? We need to numerically organize a system. And so clocks became a more standardized. They started standardizing clocks and they started to organize time zones. But as we know, like the Earth is moving around the sun. The sun is also spinning. All these planets are moving, but the Earth is also rotating in itself. And so I think, yeah, it spins, like east to west, west to east. But it's weird because like this blew my mind when I heard this philosophical concept that like this guy was questioning the idea of cause and effect, right? Like you look at a pool ball and you hit a pool ball and you see the other pool ball move. And so like that pool ball made it move, right? You look at night, you look at the daytime, and the daytime comes after the night, and the night comes after the daytime, so you think that the daytime causes the night, and you think that the night causes the daytime. Like, why does that logic not work, right? It doesn't, obviously. There is no such thing as a sunrise, you know? It's just the Earth rotating. But from our perspective, as it crests over the horizon, it seems to go up and down. And so the reason why it's, you know, this is why we're talking about there's no up or down. Like, we need these things because, like, obviously our gravitational pull is making this space right here down for us, right? Like, our blood comes down this way. Like, if we drop something, it'll fall. But on the other side of the planet, the exact opposite side, their pull is towards that same mass that is at our feet is at their feet. They're upside down, you know? So if we tell them to like throw something up, like they're not throwing it to us, they're throwing it to outer space, you know, because their up is not our up. And so basically it's kind of just all relative in a way, but in specific contexts, like incredibly important so that we can all work together, I guess, to be a unified civilization.
Suitably understand.
I appreciate you guys giving me a space to just talk about time and share some of those ideas.
Absolutely.
Safe place, not a soft place.
It's true. It's not soft at all. It's quite literally one of the hardest places I've been in. I'm from the suburbs, you know. I told Reggie. But I will say that there's one of my favorite quotes from this filmmaker, Chris Marker, and it aligns with a lot of our conversation. And It's really short. It goes, nothing tells memory from ordinary moments. Only afterwards do they claim remembrance on account of their scars. So I'll say it again. Nothing tells memory from ordinary moments. Only afterwards do they claim remembrance on account of their scars.
Oh, yeah.
You remember the
The trauma.
Well, like to remember something is to scar consciousness. Yeah.
It's
Gotta
like
live
a
marks.
muscle, you gotta tear it to make it grow, so that that scar makes it.
Yeah.
Cool. So, we're gonna have you back, man. I got a few things I would like to sit down and talk to you with. Pick your brain.
I'm gonna have to do have to go to the National Congressional Library, do some studying first, so I can come back armed. But yeah, I'd love to come back in 2 months, take some pics, hang with the boys. Yeah, I'll see you all soon.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Bringing Bobby.
Bobby the butcher.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm out.